Alright guys, today we're going to teach you how to actually backwash these two filters here at Resolute Health in New Braunfels. A few main things before we get started. We do have two sand filters. We're going to do one at a time, and we'll do a starting procedure and a ending procedure that I'm about to show you here after we backwash both of these filters. So what I want you to notice here is we've got these two valves. Okay, these two red handles here. Right now they're in line with the pipe. They're wide open. They're like regular ball valves. They're going up to a booster pump that is feeding a heater that is sitting upstairs. So it's mega important when we're actually backwashing these filters that we turn those valves off, and that way the water is not falling back down to the ground while we're backwashing the filters. What we're looking for, what we want to look for when we backwash, we're going to close these two valves right here, okay? And I want to keep an eye, if I can zoom in over there, on that pressure gauge, okay? That pressure gauge up there should go down to 0 or damn near close to it, okay? And I want to keep an eye on that. If that pressure gauge is starting to jump in pressure, what I want to do is I want to reopen this valve, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm relieving some of that pressure building up, so we're not going through flow switches and stuff upstairs in the heater. I'm going to walk you through the steps right now of what to do, but again, we're going to turn the pump off, turn the booster pump off. We're going to turn these valves off, and then we can shut down the main pump, our main filter pump. Again, booster pump off, close the valves, and then we can turn our main filter pump off. And again, we want to keep an eye on our pressure gauge right here. Okay? Okay, so this is where we're actually going to be able to kill power to both of the pumps. So I've got my lap pool booster pump, okay? I've got my lap pool recirculation pump, RP, all right? I'm going to be able to turn everything off using these red and black buttons, stop and start. Stop and start, same thing. Now again, my order of operations are going to be lap pool booster pump off. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to close these valves, okay? Keeping an eye on this pressure gauge, see if it jumps some pressure, and if it does, then I'm going to release some pressure by opening this valve just a tad, okay? So, booster pump off. Close the valves back there, and then I'll be able to actually turn off the recirculation pump to where I can just backwash the sand filters into session here. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and get after it here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the booster pump. Stop. Got my two ball valves closed. I don't see any spike in pressure. We're looking good. I'm turning off my recirculation pump. Fantastic. Now I can come over here and just manually backwash my sand filters. So front filter to backwash. Then all I'm going to do is start my recirculation pump again. I can hear my backwash line running. Keeping an eye on my pressure gauge. I've got no spike in there. We're right about 3 psi. It's pretty much where it stops. So we'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm almost done backwashing the filter here. I've got 0 jump in my pressure, but if I did have a jump in my pressure, what I'd want to do is come over here and open this ball valve just a tad. Just a tad to release that pressure. In fact, when I did that, I saw that pressure drop right down to 0. Fantastic. Good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna go actually turn off my lap pool recirc. Come over here. I'm gonna move my handle from backwash to rinse. Okay, I can turn this guy back on so you guys can see here. Lap pull recirc. Hit the start button. In rinse mode, we're going to go until my sight glass is clear. Looks pretty good. Hit stop. Come back here to filter. And we'll fire back up. Now, before I fire up, I've already backwashed that second sand filter, so I'm not going to do that one again. But I'm going to get the recirculation pump going back once it's back on filter. And really, this is the easiest time to empty this basket here. If I'm going to empty this basket, what I want to do is actually take this butterfly valve, and I'm going to close it all the way to block off my suction line so I don't get any air in my suction line. I can pop this off, take the basket out. I always put the lid right back on to not allow air to get back into the system. Clean it out. It's easiest if you go from the inside and just rub your fingers down it, get all that lint out. It's anything else more than lint. Get that nice and clean and put it back. That way, when I am ready to turn that bad boy back on, the recirculation pump here, okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to open my butterfly valve as fast as possible. Okay, wide open. Come here, press start. And that pump's going to prime up, no problem. Okay. Now that I've got it running here, what I want to do is I'm going to come back and actually open up these valves. So I've got my valves back in the open position. At that point, I can come back here to my lap pull booster pump, fire that guy up, and get her going back again. Okay, what I want to focus on here, my flow valve, my flow meter, my pressure gauge. Plenty of flow. Pressure's right back where it wants to be. Pump's not leaking. We're good to go. Got my valves back in the correct position. This is what we're looking for. At the end of the day, when you leave, the valves need to be in this position. Okay? Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to actually backwash the therapy pool. This is just a single filter here, so it's a little bit easier. We don't have to do the double backwash. It's a little bit quicker. Same concept though. Instead of my booster pump being mounted on the wall, it's sitting down here on the floor. I've got a pressure gauge here, pressure side of that pump. I've got my 2 ball valves that I need to turn off. And of course my butterfly valve when I go to clean the basket. Basically the same exact order of operations we did for the lap pool, but I'm going to go over them again here. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to come over here, and I've got therapy pool booster pump, therapy pool recirculation pump, and therapy pool booster pump. So what I want to do first is turn off my booster pump. Okay, then I'm going to come here, close my 2 red valves up top, my 2 ball valves. What that's going to do is that's going to block that water, stop that water from either going up into the heater and then back down from the heater. Now, again, it's mega crucial that I ensure that this pressure gauge doesn't spike. Now, this pressure gauge is a little worn out here. You can see we're definitely riding higher than the lap pool. It just doesn't go down to 0. So the par is about 10 or 11, I think. We're going to find out here in 1 second. But it doesn't really matter what number it's at. It's just if there is a rise in pressure. So if it's when we turn it off, if it starts at 10 psi and we see it jump to 24, 25 psi, then we know that that is a rise in pressure. That is something we need to actually open this return valve here and let some of that water out of that heater. Right side. This one right here. We're going to open that one right back down and let some of that water back down from the heater just to relieve that pressure. Okay? You guys ready? About to rock and roll. So, I'm gonna come over here. I'm looking at my therapy pull recirculation pump, therapy pull booster pump. I'm gonna come here and press stop. I'll turn around and immediately come shut off my ball valves. Okay. Got my ball valves off. Now, I see that pressure jumping. You see that pressure jumping? And it's climbing, climbing, climbing. What I want to do is come here and just relieve some of that pressure here. That's what I want. That's a good example. Okay. It's now settled. You see it dropping here? Mega, mega important that we're watching that PSI. And all I did when I saw it jump was just reopen that valve there. Okay? Mega, mega important, guys. So what is our par there? About 16, 17 PSI. That's where it's finally stopped. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now at this point, I can come over here, come back to my therapy pool recirc, turn that off. Now I've got everything down, and I'm going to actually backwash my filter. Okay. Alright guys, well hey, I've gone through the motions here of actually backwashing the filter. You guys know how to backwash filters. Obviously you wouldn't be here at this account. So I've got it back on filter here. I can see that my pressure here, pressure side of that pump is hanging out right where I want it to be. Again, not at zero like the other one, but just where it has stopped. Again, this pressure gauge is getting old, and it's the new par is 17 PSI here. So before I turn anything on, again, same thing. I'm going to come over here. I want to close my butterfly valve like so. Pop my lid off. Clean out my basket. Okay. Put my lid back on. When I open this valve again, okay, then I can come over here. Turn on the recirculation pump first. Hit the black button, start. Okay, got that on. And now before I turn on that booster pump, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to open my return. Open my feeder here. And now with those two open, come right back and hit on this booster pump. Therapy pool booster pump. Got good pressure. Both my valves are open. Come in here and check out my flow meter. Looking good. Fantastic. That's what we're looking for. Again, when we leave, I need the valves to be looking just like this when I leave.